Hello Zimbabwe and welcome to Live Talk. We are coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. I am your host, Taboka Ncube. Today on Live Talk, we are looking at the trial of opposition CCC activist Job Sikhala with the state. With the state bringing in new evidence which the defense said was unlawful, Sikhala this morning presented his evidence against the state in the case he is charged with inciting public violence on 31 July 2020. Sikhala insisted that he did not commit a crime on the 31 July 2020 aborted anti-corruption protest. The opposition activist has been in jail for more than 17 months, although he has not been convicted in any of the cases he is facing. But first, let us look at what is happening in the Middle East. A 4-year-old Israeli-American girl was freed Sunday as part of the ceasefire between Israel and the US-designated terrorist group Hamas. President Joe Biden celebrated the child's release as he expressed hopes that the ceasefire is extended. VOA's Veronica Balderas Iglesias has the story.
Israeli-American toddler Abigail Edan was among 17 hostages that the militant group Hamas released Sunday.
Her mom was killed in front of her when her kibbutz was attacked by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Abigail ran to her dad then, who then was gunned down as well while using his body to shield little Abigail.
U.S. President Joe Biden shed light on the diplomatic efforts that have been at play to secure the Hamas-Israel temporary ceasefire.
We have been in close contact with the leaders of Qatar, Egypt, and Israel, speaking with each one of them repeatedly over the past few weeks to help secure this deal. The proof that this is working and worth pursuing further is in every smile and every grateful tear we see on the faces of those families who are finally getting back together again.
The road to recovery could be long, though.
Physically, many of them are doing okay. Emotionally and psychologically, this is going to take a long time to recover from. And Israel and other countries have mobilized substantial resources to be able to deal with that trauma as we go forward.
As part of the truce, dozens of Palestinian prisoners have also been freed. And fuel and humanitarian aid has been entering Gaza, but it's unclear if the ceasefire will hold or be extended.
When this ceasefire period ends, as Netanyahu has said, the conflict will continue. And that conflict will continue, as Israel has stated, until Hamas is removed.
There are hopes, however, that a permanent solution to the Israel-Hamas conflict can be eventually reached.
Until there is an independent Palestinian state, there is not going to be peace or security in that region.
From the Vatican, Pope Francis also underscored the importance of dialogue to resolve the conflict and celebrated the latest release of hostages. Veronica Balderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
And now back to Africa. The Malawi government has partnered with the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, and a mobile service provider to help students in rural Malawi learn how to use the latest digital technology. Through the Connect a School project, public schools are equipped with high-definition smart TVs, tablets, and free internet connectivity to promote digital learning among students. However, some schools say a shortage of some gadgets presents a challenge. Lamek Masina reports from Dedza district in central Malawi.
Learners at Lintipe Secondary School in central Malawi are among thousands in 9 schools across the country, selected as the first beneficiaries of a 5-year project to help students learn the latest digital technology. Here, the children feel transformed just 3 months into the project.
At first, I didn't know how to use a gadget, but now I am now able to use the gadget. Even our teacher can teach us how to make things. We cannot agree that it is true because we don't know how to make it. But when we see it using the gadgets, we are able and truly understand the meaning of making things.
Government statistics show that 4% of 15 to 24-year-olds in Malawi have skills in information and communication technologies. This is largely because of the high cost of buying internet data and lack of access to resources for digital education. So partners in the Connect a School project, the Malawi government, UNICEF, and the mobile phone network provider, Airtel Malawi, are trying to address that gap by equipping each school with a smart TV, tablets, and free internet connectivity. Nora Chavula Chirwa with Airtel Malawi says the company is providing schools with a free internet access and that the new apps are helping to make up for a lack of resources at some schools.
I mean, where there's a hindrance or an obstacle of not having a physical lab, now the students are able to actually run experiments, run physics experiments using the MyLab app that the Ministry of Education has facilitated that these tablets should have.
MyLab is a visual science lab application developed by students at Nzuzu University in northern Malawi. Some school officials say more tablets are needed for the project.
The total enrollment of the school is 350, around 350 students. But the gadgets, the tablets are only 20, which means one is for the teacher and the 19 are for the students. And now, how effective can we use these gadgets with the students?
Malawi government authorities say they are trying to get more tablets.
Right now, as I'm speaking, there's a procurement process taking place to buy devices to run MyLab in selected schools, and this will be growing.
In the meantime, Mikeka says the government has signed a letter of intent with the International Telecommunications Union, UNICEF, and the GIGA initiative to provide digital resources to over 80,000 public schools in Malawi by 2030. Lamek Masina for VOA News, Dedza District, Malawi.
Back to Harare, Citizens Coalition for Change activist Job Sikhala's lawyer Harrison Komo speaks to the media following today's court proceedings.
Yes, today in court, Sikhala took to the stand. Mr. Sikhala, to be respectful, took to the stand and tendered his evidence in defense. He was basically advising the Honorable Court of the inconsistencies in the testimony of the state, the malice from police station, where they completely put a different set of facts. When he came to court, a different set of facts appeared, and now we are at trial stage. He's being tried of a different set of facts altogether. So he was basically demonstrating malice, and he equally denied posting the video which is subject of this charge. He also denied that he participated in the audio which is a subject of this trial. So we are proceeding with his defense on Friday, the 1st of December, to basically demonstrate that the audio that is being part of the evidence that the state is relying on is inconsistent in terms of the recording and what actually is the contents of the audio.
Mm-hmm. Which case is this?
This is a case of incitement to commit public violence, popularly known as the July 31, 2020.
Can you just briefly tell us the sequence of the procedure that we should expect from now?
What should happen from now is Sikhala must proceed with his defense. After he has testified, the state is going to cross-examine and try to poke some holes into his evidence. Thereafter, the defense will close his case, and the court is going to call upon both the state and the defense to file what are called closing submissions. Closing submissions deal with the evidence that has been presented combined with the law, and then the magistrate will come up with a decision. Sikhala has had ups and downs while he's in prison. Ups in the sense that each and every time that he appears in court, he's bubbling with confidence. He's clear in his mind that he has not committed an offense. But the downside of things is where at some point while he's in remand, he suffered a serious abdominal infection, leading to us calling upon doctors to go and attend to him. We are not yet done with that process, such that
That was Citizens Coalition for Change activist Job Sikhala's lawyer Harrison Komo speaking to the media at the Harare Magistrate Court. For those that have just joined us, please note that we are streaming live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We are also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. Today, we are discussing the continued incarceration of opposition CCC activist Job Sikhala. Sikhala this morning presented his evidence against the state in the case in which he is charged with inciting public violence on 31 July 2020. Sikhala insisted that he did not commit a crime on the 31st of July 2020, aborted anti-corruption protest. And for now, stay with us as we take a brief break.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
And to discuss the issue of the continued incarceration of CCC activist Job Sikhala, we are joined over the phone by a renowned human rights lawyer, Kennedy Masie, who is based here in the United States. And we are looking forward to be joined by another lawyer who is one of Job Sikhala's lawyers. Welcome to Live Talk.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you for hosting me today.
Thank you. Mr. Masie, as we are looking at this case, we see that Vasikhala vava mujeri kwenguva inopfura iyo 17 months. Zvimwe zvezvinhu zvingada kuzivikanwa nevanhu ndezvekuti munhu akanzi awanikwa aine mhosva panyaya inenge iyi yavari kupomerwa kuti vakapara, angange akatarisira kuti ave mujere kwemimwedzi yakawanda sei?
Inyaya iri kupomerwa Vasikhala inyaya yandingati inokwanisa kupuwa munhu fine kana kupuwa atingati a few months imprisonment chidependa nekuti court inenge yaona anonzi ma-aggravating circumstances akaita sei. But tichitarisira kugara kwavaita mujere, kugara kwavatoita mujere vari paremand kunogona kuve kwakatowanda kupfuura mutongo wavachapuwa.
Ndinotenda Vamasiye, tichitarisa zvekare nyaya yekuti sezvo muri kuti kana munhu akawanikwa aine mhosva anogona kunge achibhadhariswa faini kana kungogara kwemimwedzi mishoma shoma mujeri. Saka apa chii chingange chichiitika kuti vange vachigariswa mujeri kwemimwedzi inosvika iyo 17 vasati vatongwa?
Chatiri kuona panyaya yaVasikhala inyaya yekuti Vasikhala is nechirungu a political prisoner. Nyaya yavari kupomerwa kana kuti nyaya dzavari kupomerwa hadzingavi dzichinzi inyaya dzakasimba tichitarisa dzimwe nyaya dzatiri kuona vamwe vanhu vachipuwa mabail nadzo. And nyaya yaVasikhala, it's an example yeyatingati the abuse of the judiciary system kana kuti the abuse of law yatiri kuona ichiitika muZimbabwe. Zvinhu zvatingati nepachirungu zvekare zviri kuseta yatingati bad precedent kana kuti kubatwa kunoitwa mhosva dzakadai so zvisina kunaka. Ende tichita saa yedu bumbu redu remutemo. Bumbu redu remutemo rinotaura kuti munhu wese ane kodzero yokupuwa bail. And the bail is a fundamental right irimo muconstitution medu yokuti hapana munhu anofanira kuva achishaya bail nokuda kwokuti paita macircumstances. And zvekare tinoona zvekare yatingati mutemo wedu wemuzimbabwe unova uchiona nezvekuona zvokupa mabail yatingati criminal procedure and evidence act. Tikatarisira ma-requirements aripo ekuti anotariswa necourt kuti munhu anofanira vachipuwa bail kana kuti zvinotariswa kuti zvivachiagiwa kana kuti zvichitaurwa mucourt zvokuti chokutanga chokuti is there likelihood yokuti vanokwanisa kuabsconda here court kana kuti is there likelihood vanokwanisa kuva vachiinterfere nema-witnesses here kana kuti is there likelihood yokuti vanokwanisa kucommita another offense yakadaro. Izvi zvinhu zvese izvi zvakataurwa namagweta mumatare and zvinhu zvokuti takatarisa circumstance yavasikala yokuti vakasunga vari nhengo yeparliament and uyezve nyaya iyi yange yatoferefedwa atopera. Zvese tingati ma-requirements kana ma-principles vaive vachiqualifya. Saka zvatikuona izvi zvinogona zvichive zvine zvimwe mukati zvakaita senge matongero enyika asina kumira zvakanaka kana kuti an abuse of the judicial system yatikuona ichiitika patikuona vasikala vasiri kupuwa bail.
Thank you for that. We've also heard Sikhala's lawyers saying there are inconsistencies from the case that is being presented by the state, and that they are saying there is new evidence that is being introduced at this stage. Legally, is it permissible to have new evidence coming in now? Can you explain to us what does all this mean?
Yeah, what all this means is that the case against, Honorable Job Sikhala is a case that is being manufactured as it goes. Because it boggles one's mind why new evidence would surface, come to surface when the trial is almost, or the case is almost, halfway through. And also regarding to the issue of, the basic principles of an arrest. An arrest should come after investigations, not the other way around, where they then arrest and investigate later, as what we see or what we saw in the case of, Honorable Job Sikhala. So here you can see a lot of hands, political, massaging of the judicial system, where you have a citizen like Job Sikhala who has got rights in terms of the Constitution, who's got the right to bail, who's got the right to liberty, and being, persecuted for whatever crime it is. But basically, this case sets bad precedents on how cases like this one should be handled. Because we've seen serious cases coming to court, and we've seen people even getting away with serious crimes like economic crimes, even murder, people getting bail for murder. But for this offense, which pretty much has got a little or insignificant penalty, we see Honorable Job Sikhala spending months in imprisonment without bail.
Thank you there, Mr. Masie. We seem to have a caller from South Africa. Hello, caller. Hello, can you hear me? If you can hear me, you can continue with your comment on the subject that we are discussing today.
Okay. Well, we can continue.
Yes. Ngiyakuzwa laphana uyenelisa ukuthi ungani akasekho laphana asazi ukuthi kuhambe njani ku network yethu laphana. Yes, coming to you again, Mr. Masie, you were explaining there on the inconsistencies and the precedents that is being set. Talking of precedences, in Zimbabwe, have we ever had a case like this where someone is in custody for this long before completion of trial?
Well, I think the case without real scientific, or even research, but the case against Honorable Job Sikhala, I think it's one of, the longest incarceration that we have seen so far. I know, though, there are some cases which have been reported where people, spend a lot of months on remand without trial, especially when it comes to murder cases. But when it comes to offenses like the ones that Honorable Job Sikhala is being charged with, I think this is the longest that we have seen in the history of Zimbabwe. I don't even think even those people who fought the wars, who were arrested during the pre-1980s, spent this long time, on remand, and pretty much it's a perpetuation of a crime against Honorable Job Sikhala. Imagine if he's found not guilty. What now? A crime has already been committed against him. He has spent a long time in prison without trial, and the state will find just go scot-free without real consequences here. So it's pretty much a bad situation that we're experiencing at the moment.
You said something about a situation where if he is found not guilty and the state will go scot-free, are there any avenues that can be pursued in a case like that? Is there a way of suing or something?
Yes, in terms of the Constitution actually says that one can sue any judicial officer or any officer of the law if when they were acting with probably with malice to arrest or even adjudicate over a case. There are provisions in the Constitution that are there that can be used. But of course, this provision is not clearly laid out, because probably the state might say that they did have a case against Honorable Job Sikhala. That's why he was incarcerated that way, of which, of course, we all see that this is not a justified incarceration. So there's need for those types of laws, especially the Constitution, to be tested, so that the courts themselves can adjudicate and also give guidance on those issues. But we all know the state of our judiciary in Zimbabwe. We all know what types of decisions that they bring about within the courts, and we also know that this is the very same judiciary that is keeping Honorable Job Sikhala in prison. So that's the fact that even if he's found not guilty, the state will likely go scot-free.
Thank you there. For now, let us bring in another caller. Hello. Oh, it seems I don't know what's happening with our lines. The caller just dropped again. You were talking about the state of judiciary in Zimbabwe. We've seen a bit of heavy-handedness on the part of the state in Zimbabwe, as we have seen some students being arrested on Friday, 3 students being arrested on Friday, and one more being arrested today on issues where they were being said to have protested Zvisiri pamutemo at the University of Zimbabwe. What's your take on that as a human rights lawyer?
Well, this one is also a slap in the face for academic freedoms. Students have got the right to demonstrate as everyone else in Zimbabwe as per the Constitution. And seeing young kids, students, getting arrested, being taken through the criminal justice system when they're just students who are trying to express themselves in terms of their rights confined in the Constitution is quite a sad situation. I think there's real need for the law, especially for the judiciary, to come out and frown at such acts by the police or by the executive by making sure that these fundamental rights, especially when it comes to freedom of of expression, right to demonstrate, are pretty much protected. And I wish that if such cases were to be brought before a criminal court, these cases be dealt with in a speedily manner, and people being given bail in terms of the constitution. But we know that there's a lot of interference, and we're likely to see these students also staying in remand for a time that is not expected, and also probably being denied bail, which is a sad situation to see in a country that calls itself a democracy.
Thank you there, Masia. We have a caller, Mahlangu Linjan Baba. Siyaphila. Yes, siyalamukela kuhlelo. Ulubona njani udaba esikhuluma ngalo namhlanje?
Uyazi ngikuhlungu kakhulu baba.
Ngiyakuzwa.
Ngendlela aphathwe ngayo thina esindebeleni kusitshengisa ukubana thina ukuthi nxa siboshwa eZimbabwe sikuba lobandlululo olukhulukazi kakhulu, njalo kasilabameli abesindebeleni. Siyalangizwa kahle baba.
Ngiyakuzwa baba Mahlangu. Usithinta ungaphi lapha?
Ngilithinta lapha ngiseButswana eSeruwe.
Hayi siyabonga ukuthi usithintile lapha nxa usithi asilabameli uthini?
Ngithi wonke umuntu osuka esindebeleni ayefika eHarare ufika atshintshe ahlabe ngoHarare. Njalo ukuboshwa kukaJob Sikhala lakhathesi yena upresident we-CCC onguye uNelson Chamisa engu-advocate njalo uke watshengisela wathini ebantwini, ngoba thina sikhola simuzwe sithi God is in it. God is in it. uGod uzakwehle vele ezulwini ezokhuphuka lejele.
Siyakuzwa baba Mahlangu. Hayi siyabonga ngombono wakho kanye lembuzo oyibuzayo. Imbuzo eqhakathekileyo kakhulu. Siyakubonga laphana. Tichidzoka kwamuri vamasiye mungotipetere pa chirongwa chedu chanasi.
Inyaya yaJob Sikhala inyaya yokushungurudza zvokuti chandinongovimba ndechekuti dai Matare atora matana awo ekumeka sure kuti marights emunhu wese including vaJob Sikhala aprotectwa uyezve vaJob Sikhala vapuwe bail se-right yavo iri muconstitution.
Tinotenda Vamasiye. Today we were talking about the continued incarceration of CCC activist Job Sikhala, who has been in jail for the past 17 months, who is facing a number of cases which include inciting violence, and we are looking forward to hearing from what will happen at the court on the 1st of December, which is on Saturday. And for now, time is not friendly. Thank you all for participating on the show. We have come to the end of our show. Signing off in Washington, D.C., I am Job Sikhala.